my friends, and welcome back to Super English Talks. It's Sarah here. And I am so happy to have you with me for another episode. Today, we're going to talk about something that touches every single one of us. No matter who we are, where we live, or what kind of life we have, life challenges. Now, when I say life challenges, you might immediately think of something difficult you've been through recently. Maybe it was a health problem. Maybe it was trouble at work or school. Maybe it was something in your family or your personal relationships. Or maybe you've been struggling with self-doubt or feeling lost in your direction. Whatever form they take, challenges are a part of being human. They're like the wind and rain that help a tree grow strong roots. You can't stop them from coming, but you can decide how to respond when they do. You see? One of the biggest lessons I've learned in my own life is that challenges aren't a sign that something has gone wrong. They're not a punishment. They're not proof that you're unlucky. They are simply part of the natural rhythm of life. Just like the seasons change, winter becomes spring. Spring turns into summer. Our lives go through periods of growth, joy, and ease, and also periods of difficulty, discomfort, and learning. And here's the interesting part. Those difficult seasons often teach us more than the easy ones. In fact, the most important qualities we admire in people, resilience, strength, courage, empathy, are almost always born out of facing and overcoming challenges. Now, let's think about this for a moment. Imagine someone you look up to. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's a famous leader. Maybe it's a character in a story you love. Chances are, their life hasn't been one smooth, perfect road. No, they've probably faced obstacles, setbacks, even moments when they felt like giving up. But they didn't. They found a way to move forward. And that's the first thing I want to share with you today. Challenges are not there to stop you. They're there to shape you. So, why are challenges a natural part of life? Well, think about how we learn as children. A baby doesn't just stand up and start walking perfectly. They fall many times. They wobble. They lose their balance. They bump into things. And yet each fall teaches them something. They adjust. They get stronger. They learn how to move their legs in a way that supports their weight. In the same way, when we face emotional, mental, or practical challenges as adults, those falls are part of how we learn to stand tall in life. If everything came easily, we wouldn't grow. But of course, when you're right in the middle of a challenge, it doesn't always feel like a learning opportunity, does it? It often feels messy, uncomfortable, maybe even hopeless. I know there have been times in my life when I thought, I can't do this. I just want this to be over. And I want you to know that those feelings are normal. Feeling frustrated, scared, or sad during a hard time doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. What really matters is what happens next. Do you stay stuck in that place? Or do you start taking steps to move forward? That's where strategies for overcoming setbacks become so important. And I'm going to share several with you today, along with real-life examples and tips to keep your mind strong. The first strategy is acceptance. This might sound simple, but it's actually one of the hardest things to do. When something bad happens, our first instinct is often to resist it, to pretend it's not happening, to wish it away, to get angry at the unfairness of it all. But resistance uses up so much of our mental and emotional energy. Acceptance doesn't mean you like what's happening. It doesn't mean you give up. It simply means you're willing to see the situation for what it is. Stop fighting reality and start focusing on what you can do next. For example, a friend of mine lost her job during a company downsizing. At first, she kept telling herself, "This can't be happening. They'll call me back." She spent weeks in denial, which only delayed her ability to start looking for new work. Once she accepted that the job was truly gone, she could shift her focus to updating her resume, applying for positions, and even considering a new career path. The second strategy is reframing the challenge. Reframing means changing the way you look at the problem. Instead of seeing it only as a disaster, you ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How might this actually help me in the long run? I know that's not always easy, but I've had moments where a challenge forced me to make changes I wouldn't have chosen on my own, and those changes ended up being exactly what I needed. For example, I once moved to a new city because of a family situation, and at first I was unhappy about it. I missed my old friends, my familiar neighborhood, my routine. But that move also led me to meet incredible new people, discover new hobbies, and grow in confidence. At the time, I saw it as a setback. Looking back, it was a turning point. Another key strategy is seeking support. I cannot stress this enough. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. In fact, it takes courage to admit you can't do everything alone. We live in a world that often praises independence, but the truth is, humans are wired for connection. We heal faster, learn better, and stay stronger when we share our burdens. If you're going through something right now, think about one person. You trust a friend, a family member, a mentor, a counselor, and reach out to them. Even if they can't solve your problem, just talking about it can give you relief and new perspective. Now, let's talk about resilience. Resilience is your ability to bounce back after difficulties. It's like the spring in your step after you've fallen, the inner strength that pushes you to get up again. The good news is, resilience isn't something you either have or don't have. It's a skill you can build over time. And one of the best ways to build resilience is to practice gratitude. even during tough times. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring your pain. It means finding small things, even tiny moments, that remind you life still has beauty and meaning. Maybe it's a phone call from a friend. Maybe it's the smell of coffee in the morning. Maybe it's a sunset you see on your way home. These little things can give you just enough light to keep going through the darkness. I also want to share something that helps me stay mentally strong when challenges feel overwhelming, breaking the problem into smaller steps. Sometimes, when we look at the entire situation, it feels impossible. But if we focus on just the next small step, it becomes manageable. Imagine you're standing at the bottom of a huge mountain. If you keep staring at the top, you might feel like quitting before you start. But if you focus on just taking the next step and then the next, eventually you'll be much higher than you thought you could climb. And here's another truth. Challenges often reveal strengths you didn't know you had. I've heard so many people say, "I didn't think I could handle that, but I did."
All right.
You never really know your limits until life pushes you past them.
All right.
Sometimes we surprise ourselves in the best possible way. Before we finish today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. The goal is not to avoid challenges. That's impossible. Goal is to face them with an open mind, a determined heart, and the belief that you can grow through them. And every lesson makes you stronger. So, my friends, if you're going through something hard right now, take a deep breath. Remind yourself that you've faced difficulties before, and you've made it through. You can do it again. Accept what's happening. Reframe the challenge. Seek support. Practice gratitude. And take one small step at a time. Of more than you realize. Let's start by acknowledging the elephant in the room. We've all been through it. Job losses that shake you to your core, relationships that fall apart, or those daily struggles to just fit in or figure out the right thing to do. We all face these hurdles, both personally and as a society. But it's really how we view these challenges that matters. These hurdles are not just obstacles. They are opportunities disguised as difficulties. It's not about avoiding the bumps on the road. It's about using them to become more resilient.
A 4-step method for overcoming challenges. It's a great 4-step method for overcoming challenges that's inspired by ancient wisdom. It's a simple but powerful framework you can use to navigate any difficult situation. 1. Acceptance. The first step is to fully acknowledge the situation, whatever it may be. No sugarcoating, no denial, just a clear-eyed view of reality. This is about letting go of that initial resistance, that urge to fight against what we can't change. It's the starting point for moving forward. Point 2. Observation. From that place of acceptance, we move to observation. We try to detach a little bit from our immediate emotions and see the situation objectively. Almost like taking a mental step back. It's like pausing before reacting. Instead of making a rash decision, we take a breath and assess the situation clearly. 3. Action. Once we've done that, then we can move on to action. This is where we face our fears head-on and take concrete steps to address the challenge. This is where a positive mindset becomes crucial. Believing you can overcome the obstacle is a huge part of actually doing it. 4. Gratitude. This might seem counterintuitive to feel grateful when you're in the thick of a really difficult situation. Gratitude is about shifting our focus, even slightly, from what's wrong to what's right. Even in the darkest times, there are always things to appreciate, whether it's the love of your family, the lessons you're learning, or simply the fact that you're here, alive, and ready to face another day. That practice of gratitude, even when it's hard, is what builds true resilience. Mastering your mindset, overcoming negative self-talk, it's not always easy to stay positive. We all have those nagging inner voices, the doubts, and the fears that can paralyze us. Those voices can be so loud sometimes that they make it feel almost impossible to move forward. It's a constant battle with our own minds. Mastering our thoughts and overcoming that negative self-talk is a journey. But there are tools we can use to quiet those negative voices and reclaim our inner peace. Mindfulness and meditation. These practices help us become aware of our thoughts without judgment, allowing us to detach from those negative patterns. It's about creating that space between ourselves and those thoughts, so they don't have complete control over us. Self-reflection. Taking the time to understand where those negative thoughts come from can be really helpful. Often, they're rooted in past experiences or beliefs we've internalized over the years. Once we see these patterns, we can start to challenge them and rewrite the narrative. Choosing to focus on the present moment and create a new and more empowering story for ourselves. Feel your feelings. It's so tempting to just bury our emotions or pretend they're not there, but that only seems to make things worse in the long run. Suppressing our emotions is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater, tease, bound to resurface with even greater force. It's important to allow ourselves to feel the full spectrum of emotions, even the difficult ones. You can do this in a healthy way through journaling, creative expression, or simply talking to a trusted friend or therapist. Building your resilience toolbox, the specifics of challenges vary. But the skills we need to overcome them are often remarkably similar. Think of it as strengthening a mental muscle, one that helps you navigate all of life's ups and downs with more grace and resilience. What are some of the key tools we need to build up this resilience muscle? Critical thinking. This is the ability to analyze a situation objectively, to understand the root cause, and to come up with solutions instead of just getting swept away by emotion. It helps us step back, detach from immediate reactions, and look at the situation with a clear, rational mind. Effective communication. This helps us express our needs, seek support, and work with others to find solutions. We might suffer in silence, when reaching out can make a huge difference. Just sharing our struggles can help us feel less alone, gain new perspectives, and receive the support we need. Adaptability. Life is full of surprises. So being able to change plans, embrace new viewpoints, and learn from our mistakes is essential. Adaptability is becoming more and more valuable. As we navigate all of life's uncertainty, creativity and collaboration, sometimes the usual solutions just don't cut it. We need to think outside the box, try new things, and be willing to experiment. And we don't have to go at it alone. Okay, by combining our skills and resources, we can overcome even the toughest obstacles. This brings us back to the crucial element of building a strong support network. Asterisk, the power of asking for help. This is something so many of us struggle with. Yet it is essential for our well-being and our success. There is still so much shame and stigma around it. We're often conditioned to believe that asking for help is a sign of weakness. But the truth is, it takes real strength to admit you don't have all the answers and to reach out for support. When we ask for help, we're not only helping ourselves, we're giving others the opportunity to be supportive and to connect with us on a deeper level. It's about building that sense of community, that shared experience, and understanding that we're all in this together. We don't have to face these challenges alone. You're not superhuman, and everyone needs a helping hand sometimes. Asking for help is a sign of self-awareness. It's not weakness. Asterisk, rewriting your story. We each carry around a unique narrative, a set of lenses that really colors how we see the world and the challenges we face within it. Some people see a challenge and immediately think threat, while others see it as an opportunity. These reactions are shaped by our past experiences, our upbringing, and the stories we've told ourselves over the years. But the good news is, we are not powerless. We can rewrite those stories. The first step is awareness. We have to become conscious of the stories we tell ourselves, the beliefs and assumptions that shape our experience. It's like hitting the pause button on that internal tape recorder and really listening to what's playing. Once we're aware of those stories, we can start to question them. Are they truly accurate? Are they helping us? Or are they holding us back? This is where reframing comes in. It's about consciously choosing to shift your perspective to find the hidden opportunity or lesson within the challenge. So, instead of saying, "I can't do this," we might say, "This is going to be tough, but I'm determined to learn from it." This shift in perspective can have a ripple effect on everything: your thoughts, your feelings, and how you act. It's not just about thinking positive. It's about taking action based on that new outlook. You have the power to rewrite your story, reframe those challenges, and create a life that's more fulfilling and meaningful than you ever thought possible. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into talking about life's challenges. Remember, they're a part of the journey, but they don't define you. Embrace the opportunity to learn, grow, and rewrite your story. And if you're facing a challenge right now, don't hesitate to reach out for support. You're not alone on this path. What's one thing you're going to do this week to reframe a challenge or build your resilience? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this conversation helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Super English Talks. Until next time.